Huff.
That is right. You are listening here, the home of conservative, not bitter talk. And yes, I am your host, Todd Huff. Email, as always, well, ever since we changed it, whenever that was, a year or so ago, todd@toddhuffshow.com, facebook.com/toddhuffshow if you want to watch hour number 1 of our program on Facebook. You can do that. You can also download the podcast. Hour 2 is on YouTube. Good morning, YouTube. Good to be here. Thank you for joining us here. Hour 2 will be streamed on YouTube for at least a little while here. Trying to build our YouTube audience and continue to offer more things on that platform as well. But good to be here. Thank you for joining us. No matter where you consume the program or how you consume the program, it's a pleasure to have you here. So, last hour, I had an interview with Alex McFarland that I really enjoyed speaking with Alex and going through some of those things related to culture and society's need for Jesus and just looking at some of the larger or some of the broader issues and touching on several things with Alex in last hour of the program. So now I want to shift into what we normally do, which is just, talk through these things together. So I mentioned off the top of hour 1, just how pathetic Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, other Democrats in the House and the Senate were by this little stunt, this photo op. Remember, Trump has photo ops. Why can't Nancy Pelosi have photo ops? Nancy Pelosi, I would maintain, is one big walking photo op. This is all about marketing for her. This is all about the appearance. There is nothing here. This is the Democrat agenda, what you hear the Democrats talking about in D.C., and I'm not talking about rank-and-file Democrats. These are folks that I think have largely taken these folks at their word and believe some of these things that they're talking about doing, and some of these things are crazy, I'm just going to be honest, like defunding and dismantling the police. I love how now they want to tell us it's really not about dismantling the police, right? They want to tell us it's about, just reevaluating. No, that would be reform. Dismantling, I mean, if you dismantle something, you take it apart, you disassemble, you break it down, right? It's not just reformed. It's not just modified, right? If you dismantle a rocket on a launch pad, you take it down and you put it, into, respective boxes and you store it away. It's not there anymore. If you make some sort of adjustment to it, that's more akin to reforming it, right? You might add another component or whatever to our metaphorical rocket here, but dismantling means taking it down. I don't mean to be a stickler for facts and what words mean here, but that's what dismantling means. So we've got some crazy ideas out there, and it's always about optics. It's always about optics. It's always about your perception and how they can use that to manipulate votes and get more power for themselves. That's it. Now, I'm not saying Republicans are never guilty of this, because they are, right? We need to see reform, not to our system of government, but rather to the people that are there. We need to see reform on just who we elect, like voting reform, and just the way that we think collectively in this nation about elections. We need to reform that. We need to return back to the idea that we're electing representatives who should be held to a standard of a certain standard of quality, who actually do the things they tell us they're going to do, who actually follow, dare I say, the Constitution, who actually embrace what the founders created, who actually don't seek to remake America into something that it wasn't, right? That's what we need to reform, is that way of thinking. And I'm not saying it's a top-down government approach. That's not it at all. We have to win the argument. We have to win and persuade Americans in their way of thinking. And I know that we've emotionalized politics, and politicians have candidly taken advantage of us in many cases to only inflame the emotions. And I think that's what we saw yesterday when we saw these Democrat congressmen, senators wearing the African Kente cloth, scarf, very, very colorful, very beautiful cloth. But they use this as it's a prop. They used it as a prop, a political prop. This was political theater. I spoke with someone yesterday whose daughter was in school to learn how to make wigs. She wants to go to Broadway and she wants to help, create props and there was not just wigs. I think there were other maybe makeup and kind of costumes and that sort of thing, I believe, were included in this as well. But that's what this was yesterday. That's what this was. This was a performance. This was designed to be political consumption. This was designed to prey upon the emotional feelings, which again are understandable what they are. What we're dealing with here at the root with the death of George Floyd, which of course this is now about so many other things: defunding, dismantling police. Heck, it's even too radical for Bernie. I saw that last night. I took a picture of that when I read this. When I saw the quote from Bernie, but Bernie basically said, "Hey, this is I'm not on board with this." Bernie says, "I don't agree with the push to abolish police departments." It's even too radical for Bernie, folks. And we've got a percentage of the Democrat base that's clamoring for this. And they're clamoring for this because it's been emotionalized. There's no thinking here. This is all about emotion. And the Democrat leaders, Nancy Pelosi and those other folks who want to treat the Kente cloth like it's a prop, right? Trump's supposed to be the one who's doing the photo ops. He's standing in front of a church with a Bible. There's symbolism, and then there's political symbolism, which I'm okay with. But what's the symbolism here? I mean, it's exploiting a culture. It is using something that's not even. I mean, I struggle to even see why they would do this. I mean, really, on one level I understand, but on another I think, my goodness, there's other ways that you could have made this case and not brought in the African culture. And there's folks in Africa that are criticizing this, right? So I guess you could say that they're not considerate of the African culture. They're not treating it with the respect that it deserves. If Trump did this, can you imagine if Trump walked up on stage with this in front of a black audience to try to pander for votes or something? What is this? I mean, it's pathetic is what it is. I want to play a bit of this. I mentioned, and I'm going to do my best to say this name properly, so forgive me here if I mess this up. But there is a pro-life individual in Africa, female, Obianaju Ikiocha, I believe is how we say that. So I apologize if that's incorrect. But I want to play this. She addresses via video what the Democrats are doing, using this cloth as a political prop, as part of their political theater, bad political theater. In fact, if you were a critic on theater and you had to write a critique of what we saw yesterday with the Democrats, you would give this the metaphorical 2 thumbs down or, a hold your nose or whatever they write about in these highfalutin sort of analyses of performances. This is pathetic stuff. I want you to listen to this, and then I'm going to take a break. But I want you to listen to Obianaju Ikiocha talk about how she views it through the lens of an African, looking at what our politicians are doing, making props out of the Kente cloth. So, with no further ado, I want to share this, share her thoughts. This is on Twitter, but you can listen to what she says here.
Hi friends, I'm usually either too busy or too lazy to make this kind of quick video response. But today something happened and I thought it's actually important enough that I get in front of my camera and make a short video to explain something short enough for me to post on Twitter. I was just looking online today, like most of you, and what did I see? A bunch of Democrat politicians kneeling down, of which I have nothing to say about that because I am not an American. However, they were all having around their necks this colorful fabric, which I'm sure they put around their necks as some kind of mark or show of unity or solidarity with Black people. So in other words, they are putting forward the Kente material or this colorful fabric they had around their necks as some kind of placating sign or symbol to show that they are not racist and they are together with Black people. Excuse me, dear Democrats, in your tokenism, you didn't wait to find out that this thing that you're hanging around your neck is not just some African uniform. It's actually the Kente material. The Kente belongs to the Ghanaian people, mainly the Ashanti tribe. Excuse me, Democrats, don't treat Africans like we're children. These fabrics and these, colorful things that we have within our culture and tradition, they all mean something to us. I know you look at us and you say, oh, Africans, you're so cute in all your colorful dresses. Well, some of those dresses and patterns and colors and fabrics actually do mean something to us. Some of them belong to ancient tribes and mean something to them. So why are you using it as your own show of non-racism or your own show of virtue? Why are you using the Kente material to signal your virtue? Stop it. We are not children. Africans are not children, and leave our tradition and our culture to us. And if you don't know much about it, ask somebody. I'm sure there would have been something else you could have done to show your solidarity with Black people, instead of taking the Kente material and making a little show of it.
Gives you an idea of her response. It means something to the Democrats too, folks. The Democrats in Congress, that material. It means it's a prop. That's what it is. That's what it means to them. It's a prop. It's an opportunity. It means something to them. It doesn't really mean something of substance. But then again, what does? What does for the leadership of the Democrat Party? Nothing is real to them. Everything is a performance, an act, a play. All life is a stage. They put that to into quite literal practice here. Their lives are a stage. And we're supposed to be the adoring fans applauding their wonderful performance, their take on life, their symbolic gestures. They're not photo ops, of course. Only Trump does photo ops. I could defend Trump's actions in front of the church in D.C., the Church of the Presidents, 1,000 times easier than the radical left or the Democrat Party can defend this nonsense. And good for her for speaking out against this. This has to be offensive, right? This is offensive behavior. This is bringing in a group of people that have nothing to do with this. Nothing to do with this, and really making a bit of a mockery about it. Not taking the time to understand what that clothing means. Democrats, they don't care. It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity. And by the way, they know that they're politically safe because nobody in the media is going to raise any question about this. If someone has a problem with this, it's because we misunderstand the hearts and intentions of Nancy Pelosi and other Democrats. Hogwash, folks. Hogwash. This is nonsense. This is offensive. This is stupid. But this is the way that the left operates politically. This is what they do. Symbolism, even bad symbolism, bad theater. It's not real. It's about manipulation, misdirecting the American people. Meanwhile, a lot of their folks in their party are clamoring for the dismantling of police. You want to talk about something that'll really, really matter to society, as if we move in that move in that direction. Of course, they're changing what dismantling means. And look, I'm not saying there shouldn't be any police reform discussions or, conversations and even, actions taken to prevent what we saw with the tragic death of George Floyd. But I'll tell you what, it's not the abolition of law enforcement, that's for sure. I mean, we're beginning of the purge here if we had done that path. I got to take a break here. Take a break, come back, and continue this discussion just with some of the things happening in our culture, including Terry McAuliffe basically telling us he's happy that Joe Biden is not out there talking. He's happy that Joe Biden's locked away in his basement. That's a good place for Joe to be. I would agree with that. We've talked about that for some time, but Terry McAuliffe is actually on the record now saying that. We'll talk about that when we get back. Sit tight. Be back in just a minute.
Looking to make a conservative, not bitter fashion statement? Check out our apparel online, including brand new items at toddhuffshow.com/shop today.
You rely on your vehicle every day. It's not a member of the family, but you spend as much time with it as most family members. You wouldn't take your family to just any doctor, so don't trust your vehicle to just any repair service. At Raymond's Auto and Truck Repair in Plainfield, we have well-trained, caring technicians that have the expertise to get you back on the road. For 25 years, we've been servicing personal, commercial, and fleet vehicles. Give us a call at 317-838-7112 for the car service you deserve.
Business leaders, are your employees satisfied with their jobs? Do they enjoy coming to work and feel valued? Workforce Chaplains can help. Locally owned, we work with organizations to provide holistic care to their employees. I'm Marcus Schrader, President of Workforce Chaplains, and we offer your team a 24/7 support system that positively affects your company's culture and productivity. With our personalized pricing and diverse support system, we handle the issues that you wish you had time for. To learn more, visit us at workforcechaplains.com.
Outside of the federal government, no one likes losing money. Any amount of money, not just the $6 billion the State Department lost. And what makes losing money worse is knowing that we could have done something to stop it. Well, if you have an inefficient furnace, a toilet that won't stop running, or a leaky faucet, you can do something about it. You can call the good folks at Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing. Call 317-831-5279 or visit economyheatingandair.com.
Hi, my name is John Swadner, Sales Director of the Todd Huff Show. As a listener of the program, you know the show is growing. 4 years ago, it began as a podcast in a closet. Today, it's a 2-hour show that airs during morning drive in Indy and in Utah, and we're just scratching the surface. Todd brought me on board to help the show and our advertisers grow. That's why I'm specifically looking for partners who are a good fit to advertise with us. Would that be you? To learn more about what advertising would look like and to determine if it's a good fit for your business, shoot me an email to john@toddhuffshow.com. And be sure to ask me about some of our special packages that will save you up to 40%. Email john@toddhuffshow.com. Shoot me an email today.
Ever ask yourself, what does my business insurance actually cover? Well, at AIA and Avon, we think you deserve to know. AIA is focused on earning your trust. We've found that when we educate our clients and truly listen to them, they allow us to work alongside them to put together the insurance plan they need. Whether your business is big or small, give AIA a call, 317-718-1747, or find out what we can do for you at AIA4lowrates.com. Advertisement sponsored by Grange Insurance.
The compassion of Christ compels us to stop what we're doing and seek that person out. I think as Jesus went, in that famous song I sang as a little kid was Zacchaeus, come down. Zacchaeus was in a tree and he wanted to engage with Jesus, but he just couldn't, and Jesus stopped and he went over to him. If we are going to live a life of compassion, the compassion of Christ, are we willing to stop and seek those who need a touch of compassion today?
Are you an electrician, plumber, or handyman looking for an 8-to-5 job that pays you what you're worth? Copper Ridge Home Services wants you. Our veteran-owned family business offers holiday pay, weekends off, and on-site training for entry-level positions. Our team is growing, so if you have a can-do attitude, we want you to be part of that growth. Ready for a change? Give Copper Ridge a call at 317-839-6100. That's 317-839-6100. Copper Ridge Home Services. We value your time.
Welcome back. If you've listened to this program for any length of time, you know that I have been on the record as telling you and telling our Democrat friends as well that Joe Biden, well, honestly, kind of belongs in the basement, at least from the Democrats' perspective. They don't want him out there. I've said during this COVID thing, I said, look, I'm not suggesting that the Democrats, I know folks have opinions on this stuff, but I'm not suggesting that the Democrats created or anything COVID, but they were happy with at least the results of that particular. Look, I'm not criticizing, I'm not suggesting they're happy with COVID itself, but there have been things that have stemmed from COVID that the Democrat Party politically is happy to use to their advantage. I don't think that that's deniable, right? This is, of course, an opportunity for them to say how inept and unqualified Trump is. The economy was, of course, ravaged by this, 40 million unemployed people. You know, the disingenuousness of this is quite remarkable because everyone knows that the economy, what ravaged the economy was COVID. I mean, this is just undeniable. In fact, there's already promising news coming out of this as we begin to get back on our economic feed here. There's some promising news as we head towards full recovery. In fact, the Democrats don't want to accept that, but it's, of course, that's what the cause is, but they were happy to watch, again, for their own benefit. They're on the record. Bill Maher, on the record a couple of years ago, saying that he would be okay with the recession, would actually cheer for a recession if it meant that Americans would vote out Trump because, hey, basically, is it better to have economic turmoil in your own personal life for a little bit? Of course, he's insulated with his wealth and so forth. He's not going to feel the brunt like the average American, so he can say this without really any concern for anyone else. But basically, he said, look, it's worth it. If we have to go through a recession to save the country from Trump, then I think it's worth it. That's what he said. I'm paraphrasing, but that's it. So we know that they're rooting for something bad in the economy that they can go out and talk about. It's terrible to say, but it's accurate and true. It is. It's accurate and it's true. So there's benefits from some of these bad things. And again, I'm not suggesting they created it. I know some folks out there think that they did. I'm not suggesting that. I'm simply saying that everything's political to them. So if they can use something for their own political gain, they will use it. They don't care, just like they did with this Kente cloth kneeling in the Capitol building recently, making a mockery, really, using of Africa and using their cloth, their clothing, as a political prop. That's how they view. This is the party that cares about all people. This is the party who's trying to make sure that we don't say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing politically correct all the time. This is how they behave. I think it's far from that reality, but that's the message here. That's what we're told to believe and to accept. Anyway, so I've said that there are benefits, positive political benefits to COVID. I just want to make it clear, I'm not saying that they rooted for this, but they say this is reality. Oh, look at this. Biden doesn't have to go out. Biden can stay in his basement. I've said from the beginning that this guy, they want this guy in the basement. If they can avoid a campaign and somehow get him to be president, they will choose that option. They will choose that option. And candidly, folks, I can't blame them. I can't blame them. And that's why you see them, they don't want to see Biden on stage with Trump. Folks, this will be an annihilation. This would have been an annihilation back in 2016, but given what we've seen from Biden lately, it'll be even more of an annihilation. I mean, I don't see, if there are 3 debates as there normally are, I don't see any way possible people who are truly looking to make a decision between these two folks who haven't already made their decisions or made their minds up. I don't see any remote way possible that they're going to think that Biden is going to come out once we get to that point, Biden is the winner as far as being the stronger leader, being the more articulate thinker, being the one that has the answers for America. I don't see any way that that's possible. Now, of course, for those who don't care, those who hate Trump, those who are, invested in that narrative, of course. But this is convenient for them. Again, don't read into what I'm saying. I'm just saying this is what the reality is. This is how we, with COVID, this is where we are. A benefit of that politically is they can keep Joe in the basement. Keep Joe in the basement. That's what they want to do. They want to keep Joe in the... And now they're on the record as telling us that. There's a video recording of a Zoom call, and I'll share that with you. In fact, I'm going to take a break. I was going to do it this segment, but Oz has informed me it is time to take a break. So I'm going to do that to keep us on track here, but we're going to play that. I want you to hear what Terry McAuliffe said. He's happy with Joe Biden being in the basement. It's remarkable. I mean, Trump's wanting to have rallies. Trump's pushing to get back in front of large crowds here as we make our way out of, social distancing and, all the, as we get back to reality or normalcy. There's still, of course, procedures and social distancing and washing of hands. That doesn't just immediately stop. But as we get out of that extreme stringent world and we're being, having those things preached to us from governors, by the way, who don't have to apply or abide by the rules, I should say. As we get out of that, heavy-handed approach and move more towards getting back to normal and opening up in some degree, carefully and cautiously, of course. There are some troubling things that we've seen with COVID, at least in some states. Texas, hospitalizations are up. But anyway, so as we get out of that, Trump's wanting to get in front of people, but Biden's people are saying, heck no, we don't want this guy in front of anybody. Trump's wanting to be in front of tens of thousands of people. Biden's team is saying, hey, 2 people see him a day, and that's enough. I think that's all you need to know about what these campaigns think about this upcoming, these debates and what we're about to embark upon here. Biden needs something else. It can't be Biden to carry him through. It's got to be hatred for Trump, criticism of Trump's economy, criticism of Trump's response to COVID, something along those lines. It's got to be that. It can't be that Biden is better than Trump. It's got to be Trump is reprehensible, hated, abhorrent, an aberration, all these sorts of things. So, taking a break. Come back. I want to play this soundbite, continue this discussion of how the Democrats really just want to keep Biden hidden away, hidden from the American people. Again, from the most transparent party in American history, right? The most transparent group of people that have ever existed. They want to hide their president from the American people. And I've got to take a break. You're listening here to the home of conservative, not bitter talk. I'm your host, Todd Huff. Back in just a minute.
Like what you hear on Todd's show? Why not get more by signing up for Todd's free Semi-Sweet Morsels of Truth newsletter. To subscribe, visit toddhuffshow.com/subscribe or text HUFF to 31996.
What if your bank treated you like a person instead of an account number? What if you could sit across from the person you are opening an account with or requesting a loan from and have an actual conversation? You may be thinking, Todd, that's crazy talk. Well, not at Citizens Bank. Come visit them in Monrovia and meet Nick Gibson, their new branch manager, and the rest of their staff. Or give them a call at 317-831-0110. Citizens Bank is an equal housing lender and member FDIC.
Hi, I'm Greg Hubler from Greg Hubler Chevrolet. You know, a promise can get lost in a big city, but in a smaller town, a promise made had better be a promise kept. That's why the Greg Hubler Promise covers every vehicle we sell. All new Chevys receive a 3-year, 45,000-mile scheduled maintenance, plus complimentary roadside assistance and a free car wash with every visit. A promise made is a promise kept. Stop by Greg Hubler Chevy today or visit GregHublerChevy.com. Cruise on over to Canby. Find new roads.
This is the sound of your typical do-it-yourselfer in completely over his head.
For heating, plumbing,
and electrical done right.
Come, Mr. Quick. Call Mr. Quick. Dial the number, spell the words. For on time.
I love my community, and I wanted to do more to make a difference with my hard-earned dollars. I wanted to make an impact and help shape our future and our county. So I gave money to the Community Foundation of Morgan County. More than just charitable giving, the money I donate is tracked and measured so every dollar is held accountable. It's a social return on your investment. Why don't you join me in donating at cfmconline.org? That's cfmconline.org. Philanthropy with measurable impact.
All right, here we go. $100 down, $200 down, $300.
I went to my first firearms auction a few years ago. It was hosted by TJ Freegee, one of my good friends from high school, who is a champion auctioneer and one of the best in the business. In spite of objections from liberal legislators, I walked away with a .22 rifle and a few boxes of ammunition. And I had a great afternoon with my grandpa that I won't soon forget. If you've ever wondered what treasure you could find in an auction, visit FreegeeAuctioneers.com and take a look at their upcoming Central Indiana auction schedule. That's Freegee, F-R-E-I-J-E, auctioneers.com. Visit FreegeeAuctioneers.com.
Hi, I'm TJ Freegee, owner and lead auctioneer at Freegee Auctions and Marketing. I invite you to come see the power of live auctions. It's fast, it's fun, it's transparent, and it's the absolute best way to ensure you get fair market value for your asset today. Get results, go auction.
Wallace Construction is a family-owned business with 45 years' experience in asphalt, concrete, and seal coating. At Wallace Construction, our wide variety of experience and top-notch customer service have helped us build a strong reputation in Central Indiana. But we don't rest on that reputation. We build it, one job at a time. If you have an upcoming project, call us at 317-422-5356. That's Wallace Construction, 317-422-5356, and ask for Richard or Roger.
Healthcare is expensive and complicated. Did you know that as a Christian business owner, it is possible to provide access to affordable health benefits for your employees? Remodel Health has helped employers across the United States save over $22 million in the past 3 years. Our innovative approach allows your employees to have the health benefits they need at a cost you can afford. Go to remodelhealth.com/Todd to help your employees find the health care they deserve. Remodel Health. Rethink employee health benefits.
Welcome back. Again, if the Democrat Party is half as transparent as the media tells us they are, why are they so content in keeping their presidential nominee, presumptive presidential nominee, hidden away in the basement? Why? Isn't this the antithesis of transparency? Isn't this a little delusional, at least on paper? Not, there's only one reason to not want people to see your candidate, and that's because your candidate isn't worthy of being seen. It doesn't help his or her cause. So I want you to hear this if you haven't already. Terry McAuliffe on a Zoom call. I don't know who all's on this thing, but I saw some politician from, I want to say Norfolk, but it's not. It's somewhere in Virginia. I don't know. It's the town in Virginia. So I don't know who all these people are, but Terry McAuliffe chimes in and talks about their strategy for Joe Biden, defending it as Biden's locked away in his basement, down there probably with Hillary's server. Here we go.
All right, Governor, you're not here to make any announcement, right?
I'm focused on Joe Biden in 2020. I think it's likely I will run for governor in 21, but I want to focus on 2020.
Right. Yeah, that's the wrong clip. That's him saying he's going to run for governor. He's not just running for governor. That's not the reason that he's on there. The other reason he's on there is to tell that group of people why Joe Biden should be...
People say all the time,
should be locked away in his basement. This is it. Sorry, I had the wrong one. Let's do this again. Here we go.
People say all the time, we got to get the vice president out of the basement. He's fine in the basement. 2 people see him a day, his 2 body people. That's it. And let Trump keep doing what Trump's doing. It's hard for the vice president to break through. You've got the COVID crisis. He's not a governor, doesn't have a National Guard. He's not the president, doesn't have the briefing room. He needs to come out strategically. And when he says something like he did on race relations 2 days ago, it needs to have a big impact, thoughtful, and that's what we're preferring that he actually do at the time. He's doing a lot of local. He's talking to 2-3 governors a day. He's doing roundtables, Zoom calls. He's doing with local officials. And a lot of it's being done in those 6 battleground states that we have going forward.
There you go. He's talking to governors, folks. By the way, he said only his 2 body people, I presume he means like bodyguards, his detail. The only people that need to see him every day are his 2 body people. For my first question is his wife not seeing him? Or his sister? He's not sure which is which, but is his wife not seeing him? And actually, when I heard him say his body people, I thought, well, maybe the Democrat Party has decided to get a body double for Joe Biden. This is not a bad idea. Democrats, if you're listening, you might want to jot this down because I think there may be some good things that can come from this. Get a body double, hide Joe in the basement, and then at appropriate times, tell the media, we'll let you film Joe, walking out, doing some thoughtful contemplation of the heavy issues of the day, walking through his property. Maybe we can get a shot of him, a nice photo, a nice video shot of him, kneeling, feeding some of those geese out there that were making a ruckus during one of his recent videos. Maybe we could do that, maybe show the humanity of Joe Biden. But it's with the body double because God only knows. You put Joe in front of a goose. I don't know what this is, just asking for trouble. So have some body doubles walk across the property. Someone that looks like Joe from a distance. And just that can be. I mean, you can probably run campaign ads on that, right? I mean, that's, that may be worth consideration. But the idea that this party, truly is laughable to me, that they are this transparent party, that they are a party that what you see is what you get. Folks, that is the antithesis of reality. That is, nothing can be further from the truth. These folks, much like the media, and I'm talking about the leadership, I'm talking about those that make decisions, I'm talking about those that when the doors are closed, make demands of their caucus, right? I'm talking about the vast majority of them in Congress. And I'm talking about rank and file. But these folks are strategists. They are tinkering with optics. Nothing is real here. Nothing. It's an inch deep, the Democrat Party platform and the people that lead it, the Democrat Party. It's an inch deep and miles wide. Not even a mile wide. It's super wide. Miles and miles wide metaphorically here because the Democrat Party is all fluff and no substance. That's what this is. All fluff, no substance, nothing real, all staged, all political theater, all things that are designed for the consumption of the voter to manipulate, to play off of emotions, to get people to view themselves instead of as Americans as some sort of an American, right? Some sort of other identity that doesn't drive us together, but rather separates us and allows folks with bad political intentions to divide and conquer us. This is what we've seen in D.C. This is what we've seen in our states for a long, long time. Ineptitude, but they make it look so good. Well, they make it look good to some people. Some people are, I guess, hypnotized, much like supposedly Trump voters were, by Facebook and Pokemon Go ads put together by Vladimir Putin in 2016. They want us to believe that happened. But meanwhile, they've really bought into this notion, this concept that the Democrat Party cares about them. Democrat Party cares about their vote. Democrat Party cares to manipulate them, to get power based upon what they can get that person to believe. It's not real. It's not genuine. They don't want their candidates out there, especially Joe Biden. They don't want Joe Biden out there. They want Joe Biden locked away in the basement. And I can't say I blame them. But I do think they should take my body double idea seriously because they could probably get some B-roll footage, maybe even a campaign ad of some body double that looks like Joe walking across the yard there in Delaware as Biden's locked up in the basement. Might be the best thing they could do from an optics perspective. Wouldn't put it past them, really. I really wouldn't. I truly would not put it past them. But I've got to take a break. Got to take a break, come back, and talk about other things in the news. But we got to take a break here. You're listening to Conservative Not Bitter Talk. I'm your host, Todd Huff. Back in just a minute.
Listen to Todd's show on your way to work, but want to hear more? Don't miss a beat. Visit toddhuffshow.com/listen to catch the program anytime, anywhere.
The printing industry has changed a lot since we opened for business in 1931, but what our clients expect from us really hasn't changed. Quality print, fast turnaround, and competitive prices. We've learned a lot at Moeller Printing over 86 years and 3 generations. Why not put that experience to work for you? Call 317-353-2224 and mention discount code RADIO to receive 10% off your first order. Call Moeller Printing at 317-353-2224.
Geothermal tax credits are back, making this the perfect time to install a new Climate Master geothermal system. Take advantage of this limited time 26% tax credit and begin cutting your heating and cooling bills immediately. Visit indianageothermal.com/info to get your free Climate Master information kit or call 317-829-1490. Visit indianageothermal.com/info or call 317-829-1490. Geothermal, it's cheaper than you think.
All right, here we go. $100 down, $200 back at $300.
I went to my first firearms auction a few years ago. It was hosted by TJ Freegee, one of my good friends from high school, who is a champion auctioneer and one of the best in the business. In spite of objections from liberal legislators, I walked away with a .22 rifle and a few boxes of ammunition. And I had a great afternoon with my grandpa that I won't soon forget. If you've ever wondered what treasure you could find in an auction, visit FreegeeAuctioneers.com and take a look at their upcoming Central Indiana auction schedule. That's Freegee, F-R-E-I-J-E, auctioneers.com. Visit FreegeeAuctioneers.com.
Hi, I'm TJ Freegee, owner and lead auctioneer at Freegee Auctions and Marketing. I invite you to come see the power of live auctions. It's fast, it's fun, it's transparent, and it's the absolute best way to ensure you get fair market value for your asset today. Get results, go auction.
The compassion of Christ compels us to stop what we're doing and seek that person out. I think as Jesus went in that famous song I sang as a little kid was Zacchaeus, come down. Zacchaeus was in a tree and he wanted to engage with Jesus, but he just couldn't, and Jesus stopped and he went over to him. If we are going to live a life of compassion, the compassion of Christ, are we willing to stop and seek those who need a touch of compassion today?
Seems like just yesterday that you couldn't find a quiet place to think in your home. Now all the kids have flown the nest and you find yourself wondering what to do with all of that extra space. This is Bruce of Bruce Richardson Realty. My team and I understand that life changes, and so do your home needs. So whether you're downsizing or upsizing, give us a call at 317-507-3285. Let us help you find the best fit for your residential or your commercial property needs. 317-507-3285.
Radon is an invisible, odorless gas that kills more people than drunk driving. In fact, radon is the leading cause of lung cancer in non-smokers. Is radon threatening the health of your family? Call Radon Environmental at 317-843-0804. Radon Environmental specializes in radon testing and mitigation. The process is quick, easy, and worth it. Radon Environmental wants to make sure your family's health is not at risk. Call 317-843-0804. Welcome back. I guess to piggyback a little bit on what we've been talking about, the political theater, the bad political theater. What about this? Something else that happened Monday. Nancy Pelosi. Sorry, I'm reading this to find the exact spot. It's incredible to me. She's using the Bible herself, as she's criticized President Trump for using the Bible as a prop. Look, the Bible shouldn't be used. Look, the words of the Bible can be used. Look, as a Christian, absolutely, I welcome this discussion. I think that this is something that our society could benefit tremendously from, talking about the Bible legitimately and seriously. But to cherry pick it or to use it to, I don't know, support someone's policy decisions, unless it's something clear. I mean, if it's taken in context, then of course it's legitimate. But if you're going to criticize Trump for using the Bible, then you yourself should not be using the Bible. By the way, I seem to recall Nancy Pelosi, whenever Trump was, impeached in the House, she was so sad. She prayed for our president every day. That's what she told us. Just heartbroken and sad. She barely could bring herself to grips to go to that podium and, tell the American people Trump was impeached. It was so sad. She didn't want to do it. This is what she wants us to believe, folks. Goes up there feigning sadness, tears in her eyes. Then, of course, she hands out the celebratory commemorative ink pens, right? Remember that? I mean, it's all political theater. It's all for show. It is not real. By the way, Nancy Pelosi, I would say be quite careful in citing the Bible, because the Bible has some not so good things to say about folks that are hypocrites. Jesus didn't have some good words for people pretending to be something they're not. That's what a hypocrite is, someone who would wear a mask, right? He called the Pharisees, you hypocrites, brood of vipers, your whitewashed tombs. So be very careful bringing that into the fray. You better really seriously want to talk about it and not just cherry pick something that you think can be misconstrued to support your political position. Instead, rather understanding the real message of the Bible. If that's your intent, then I'm all for it. But if your intention is to use particular verses to mislead people or to double down on your positions that really aren't, good, moral, ethical, biblically sound, whatever, I just say use caution, because even Satan will pull, in the story of Jesus being tempted in the desert, in the wilderness, Satan pulled things out of context, right, to tempt Jesus. So just because someone uses a verse or says that something supports their belief or whatever, their policy, in this case in politics, that's not really, whether or not, what a certain tax rate should be, or whether or not we should put a city street or an interstate in a certain place. That's not really what the Bible's for. But there are some pretty clear things when it comes to things like life and, the way that we interact with people and honesty and so forth. If we're going to talk about the Bible, let's talk about it in its totality. And let's not prevent the other side from talking about it as well. Let's not criticize them for using the Bible as a prop when it's, when you want to use it yourself as well. Anyway, just interesting things to think about here. But I've got to take a break, come back and wrap up for the day. You're listening to Conservative Not Bitter Talk. I'm your host, Todd Huff, back in just a minute.
Is it possible to be a fan of the show if you don't have the gear to prove it? Why not be safe and remove all doubt? Shop for official merchandise at toddhuffshow.com/shop today.
Ever wondered what shooting a real machine gun feels like? At Indie Trading Post, you can have an awesome and safe shooting experience in our family-friendly environment. Firing a weapon on full auto is something you will always remember. Schedule some range time today and let Indy Trading Post give you the real machine gun shooting experience. We guarantee you'll have a blast. Give us a call at 317-782-4867 or schedule your range time at fullautoindy.com.
Hey Indianapolis, by now you've probably heard about Jody Dowdle with Midwest Tax Group. Jody and his team are experts at helping you prepare your personal or small business tax returns. You can count on Midwest Tax Group to get every deduction possible and work for your higher refund. And not just on this year's taxes, they'll check your prior returns for any tax savings you may have missed for free. Are you behind on filing your returns? They can file past due returns and help negotiate with the IRS too. They complete most tax returns within a week and charge an affordable flat fee, no hourly billing. And as their client, you can consult with the team at Midwest Tax Group year-round at no charge. Midwest Tax Group has 4 office locations in Castleton, Greenwood, Plainfield, and Greenfield, with evening and weekend appointments available. Schedule your appointment today at 317-288-5260. That's 317-288-5260. Or visit their website at mwtaxgroup.com. Midwest Tax Group can help you more than any piece of software ever could.
If you own a rental property, you know the hassles of marketing, renting, collecting, and the handling of maintenance and repairs. One call to Zuluscape can put an end to your property management headaches. Zuluscape has over 20 years of experience helping landlords throughout central Indiana and taking the stress out of owning a rental. From A to Z, let Zuluscape handle it all so you can enjoy owning a rental instead of hating being a landlord. Give us a call at 317-663-8485 or visit our website at Zuluscape.com.
Ever ask yourself, what does my business insurance actually cover? Well, at AIA and Avon, we think you deserve to know. AIA is focused on earning your trust. We've found that when we educate our clients and truly listen to them, they allow us to work alongside them to put together the insurance plan they need. Whether your business is big or small, give AIA a call, 317-718-1747, or find out what we can do for you at AIA4lowrates.com. Advertisement sponsored by Grange Insurance.
Anxiety, depression, relationship problems, past trauma. Problems rarely get better when given time. Care to Change Counseling can help. Our professionals combined evidence-based care models with scripture to get you on the path to a productive life. We are here to help you make the changes you need for a healthier, happier you. Take that brave step today. Call Care to Change at 317-790-9396 or visit caretochange.org.
What if your bank treated you like a person instead of an account number? What if you could sit across from the person you are opening an account with or requesting a loan from and have an actual conversation? You may be thinking, Todd, that's crazy talk. Well, not at Citizens Bank. Come visit them in Monrovia and meet Nick Gibson, their new branch manager, and the rest of their staff. Or give them a call at 317-831-0110. Citizens Bank is an equal housing lender and member FDIC. Welcome back, folks. So, waning moments of the program today. Lots of things I just was not able to get to today. We got Al Sharpton yesterday at the George Floyd funeral. Not, again, missing an opportunity here to go after some folks, in particular Roger Goodell, who I'm not a defender of, but I'm not sure that that's the best place to do that. But whatever. I mean, this is again, opportunity presents itself. This is what happens. Colin Kaepernick came up yesterday at the funeral. Al Sharpton telling Goodell, stop apologizing and give this man his job back. So we've got that out there. Got some comments. We had some things happening yesterday in Georgia regarding lines and so forth. I just don't have time to, at polling places, don't have time to get into that, and some comments and some tweets from people like LeBron James, who, of course, has ambitions to be your future president. So just don't have time to get to those issues today, guys, but appreciate you listening. As always, thank you for joining us. Have a great day. SDG. See you tomorrow. Take care.
When life is hard for the women